If the machine gun was the heart of the German squad, the submachine gun was its teeth. Germany pioneered the stormtrooper tactics of the Great War, and by 1939 they had refined the Maschinenpistole into a symbol of the Blitzkrieg. From wood-stocked veterans of the trenches to last-ditch emergency copies, today we are uncovering every major German-designed and officially adopted submachine gun in the arsenal. The Great War veterans. Bergmann lineage. Maschinenpistole 18-1, the MP18, the Bergmann. The MP18 was the world's first practical submachine gun, famously known as the Bergmann and feared by the Entente troops during the 1918 Spring Offensive. You'll recognize it by its side-loading horizontal magazine and the heavy traditional wooden stock, though most World War II-era examples were modified from their original snail drum magazines to take standardized box magazines. By 1939, it was a reliable but cumbersome relic, relegated primarily to police units and rear-area security forces tasked with maintaining order in occupied territories. Despite its age, its heavy construction made it a stable firing platform, even if it lacked the portability of modern paratrooper designs. Maschinenpistole 28-2, MP28. The MP28 was a direct evolution of the Bergmann design, built to modernize the German inventory during the clandestine rearmament of the interwar years. It features a nearly identical side-loading profile to its predecessor, but with the critical addition of a fire selector switch above the trigger, allowing the shooter to toggle between semi-automatic precision and full auto suppression. While it saw limited front-line action with the Waffen-SS during the rapid invasions of Poland and France, its labor-intensive machined construction meant it was quickly eclipsed by the more portable stamped steel designs of the 1940s. It remained a common sight among second-line troops, bridging the gap between the trench warfare past and the mechanized future. Moving from the heavy wood and steel of the trenches toward high-end craftsmanship, we find the Rolls-Royces of the submachine gun world. The Irma and Steyr lineage, interwar police and export. Maschinenpistole 34-0, MP34, the Rolls-Royce of SMGs. The MP34 earned its reputation as the Rolls-Royce of SMGs due to the exceptional quality of its machined parts and high-grade finishing that exceeded almost every other weapon in the world. It is instantly recognizable by the unique magazine housing on the left side, which incorporates a built-in magazine loader that allowed soldiers to replenish empty magazines using stripper clips with incredible speed. Absorbed into German service after the 1938 Anschluss, it saw early war frontline service with elite mountain and paratrooper units before being gradually replaced by the MP38 and MP40 as production of the cheaper models expanded. Its durability was unmatched, but its cost was simply too high for the demands of a global war of attrition. Maschinenpistole 35, MP35. The MP35 was a unique right-side loading weapon that stood apart from almost every other submachine gun design of the era. Look for the bolt handle that operates exactly like a Mauser rifle, requiring the shooter to manually cycle the bolt to chamber the first round before firing. Primarily issued to SS and police units on the Eastern Front, it was a rugged, simplified tool that offered surprising durability and reliability in the harsh, frozen conditions of the Soviet Union. Because its magazine fed from the right, it felt more balanced to some shooters, making it a dependable, if unconventional, choice for mobile security elements clearing partisan-held territory.
As the German war machine shifted toward mass production, they abandoned luxury in favor of the most iconic folding stock weapon in history. The MP40 family, the standard issue. Maschinenpistole 38, MP38, the revolutionary standard. The MP38 was the revolutionary weapon that armed paratroopers and squad leaders during the opening Blitzkrieg years, signaling the end of the wooden stock era. You can distinguish it from its famous successor by the longitudinal cooling grooves on the receiver and its circular, milled cocking handle. Developed by Heinrich Vollmer at Irma, it was often incorrectly called the Schmeisser by Allied troops, despite Hugo Schmeisser having no hand in its design. Its introduction of the underfolding metal stock allowed for unprecedented mobility in armored vehicles and aircraft, though its complex milled receiver was still too slow to produce for a multi-front war. Maschinenpistole 40, MP40. The MP40 is the quintessential German submachine gun, produced in over 1 million examples to arm NCOs, vehicle crews, and elite assault elements. It is identifiable by its smooth-walled, stamped steel receiver, a radical design change made to maximize production speed and reduce material costs without sacrificing firepower. While loved by soldiers for its low recoil and controllable cyclic rate, its double-column single-feed magazine remained a notorious weak point, frequently jamming when exposed to the grit of the desert or the mud of the steppe. Despite this flaw, it became the visual shorthand for the German soldier, influencing almost every submachine gun design for the next 30 years. Maschinenpistole 41. MP41. The MP41 was a rare hybrid, merging the modern internals of the MP40 with the traditional ergonomics and stability of the Great War. It is easily spotted by its full wooden stock and integrated fire selector, which were added at the request of security and police formations who found the MP40's folding stock too flimsy for accurate fire. Production remained low due to legal patent disputes between the C.G. Haenel and Irma factories, as Hugo Schmeisser had essentially borrowed the MP40's design for this variant. This left the MP41 as a niche weapon, primarily seen in the hands of rear-area service units or specialized security details throughout occupied Europe. By the final year of the war, German industry was in ruins, forcing designers to build last-ditch weapons from the wreckage of their factories. The Volks and emergency designs, late war, 1944 through 45. Gerät Neumünster, MP 3008, the Volks MP. The MP 3008 was the Volks MP, a desperate German attempt to replicate the British Sten gun using the absolute minimum of industrial resources. It mimics the crude, tubular look of the Sten, but is modified with a vertical magazine well to accept standard, mass-produced MP40 magazines. Thousands of these were rushed to Volkssturm and emergency defense units in the final months of the war, serving as a crude but lethal tool for urban defense during the final battle for Berlin. It was the ultimate symbol of a collapsing empire where craftsmanship had been replaced by the necessity of putting a weapon in every hand. Maschinenpistole 717 and R, the captured PPSH. The MP717R was the official German designation for captured Soviet PPSH-41s that were converted to fire 9mm parabellum ammunition to solve logistics issues. It is recognizable by its massive 71-round drum magazine, though many conversions utilized a receiver adapter to accept standard German 32-round stick magazines. These were highly prized by German frontline troops on the Eastern Front, who often preferred the Soviet drum capacity for the intense house-to-house combat of Stalingrad and beyond. The weapon was so effective that the Wehrmacht issued official manuals for its use, acknowledging that sometimes the enemy's tools were better suited for the meat grinder of the front. From the handcrafted precision of the MP-34 to the stamped steel revolution of the MP-40, German submachine guns set the standard for close-quarters combat. They were the weapons that defined the image of the German soldier and influenced small arms design for decades to come. If you want to see how the Allies countered this close-range firepower, click the video on screen now to see the story of the American Thompson. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next deep dive.